Good morning, folks. We're about to get started on this Thursday morning. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. We've had quite a few weeks of good weather. Heard it's going to start raining tomorrow. We're going to get here and wait for the station ID and get started. Here we go.
VE3PGC Bonville Repeater.
Repeat only.
Good morning. The time is 8:00 a.m.
No Morse code for radio ID. We're going to have to figure out how to do that. There's a way to do it. Good morning, everyone. This is VA3EWV, Ernest in St. Andrews, West Ontario. Any party traffic? All right, nothing heard. Good morning, everybody. This is VA3EWV, Ernest with the Cornwall Coffee Conversation and Commute. That's the tongue twister. It's the 4 C's. Anyway, it is 8 a.m. Thursday, October 5th. It is 19 degrees outside here in St. Andrews, 83% humidity. No chance of rain today, but I'm hearing that rain's going to be in the forecast for the rest of the time. We're going to have another 29-degree day here as a high, a low of 18. It says that we have some good air quality today, and then in a few seconds I'll know how much, it says 1% chance of precipitation. Air quality is good, and then it should tell me how many hours of sunlight we're going to have. So 8.9 hours of sunlight. So a full 8-hour day. So if you're heading into work now, when you get home, it should be dark. It's that time of the year. Anyway, we're looking for check-ins this morning on the CCCC. Could you be the first check-in? Please come now.
VA3GIS.
You had me laughing about that yesterday. I can't even say my own call sign right. So how do you expect me to get everybody else's call sign right? How you doing this morning, Bob? It was good. A little bit long. I gave some feedback on the link there. And like, if you talk, people can't buy. You have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good time. Learned, there were some questions I was pondering, and I actually am able to do a lot more with my radio after watching the presentation there last night. Over. No, and what he means is it's just that on the DMR network, if we remember back to like when I was learning about computers way back in the day, you had a mesh network, right? And then you had, I think it was called something like backbone, but basically if one computer goes down, everything went down. And I dealt with that at Canada Post and their retail post offices, because I was a manager there on their division, and they would and the terminology escapes me, but anyway, they would have a master and a slave, right? And if the slave went down, no big deal. But a lot of times in these post offices, the master would go down and they would have 4 terminals, and then everything was gone, right? On a mesh network, you don't need to worry about that, and that's what he was getting. That's the point he was getting across about having DMR as opposed to fusion.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Is there a song with that?
That's right, the gambler. Because when you're on something like that, and you have an hour's time, and you're trying to sell a product, right? If you go in and your presentation turns in an hour and a half or 2 hours, there's no time to show people your product. Therefore, you go home empty-handed, right? So, I know how to talk a lot, but I was in sales, right, Bob? So, people like my managers that used to work with me at Future Shop and when I was at Tupperware and stuff like that, They're like, you're a real chatty guy, except for when it's coming to sell stuff. We can tell when you're selling things because you get very quiet. Right, because you give them, here's 3 features, and then you be quiet. And then you see if they want stuff, and that's how I made a lot of money. So, if I'm ever quiet on the radio, it's because I'm trying to make some money, over.
Yeah, well, maybe it was your cue last night. I didn't watch the whole thing there, but while he was talking there too long or whatever, you should have started selling the stuff.
Well, I did. I got up and I said, hey, can we show them some demonstrations? Because one thing I had learned in retail, it was the art of the demo. So that's why in my little fall in love with amateur thing, which I'm going to probably rename next year to I was thinking about that last night. I'll come back to it. But anyway, I said, let's show them some of the features and benefits. Let's show them in real life what this thing does, right? And it's not my thing. It's not my business, right? But I'm like, hey, maybe we want to show them a demonstration now. Then, more time went by. And some of the guys were like, yeah, let's see a demonstration. So I got the internet and stuff set up. We got to show some demonstrations. But by that time, there was a club meeting. We were supposed to have an hour or 45 minutes of time. Then they had their regular meeting afterward. His presentation went 2 hours, and then those guys still had an hour and a half of meeting. Who wants to deal with that, over?
I wonder if my friend in Elmer there was there. They dropped the 3 kilo delta there, Tom.
I didn't. I know they all had hats on that were very nice and embroidered. They all had their call sign on there. But when we started right on time, and they dimmed the lights to do the presentation, so you really couldn't see anybody. There was no like, who's who, and let's introduce ourselves, and all that stuff like that. There was none of that. Just a few missed opportunities. It was actually excellent. But I'm just saying, on a sales perspective and stuff like that, there was a few missed opportunities, eh?
I'm not into that stuff. Maybe later on if I can't do HF anymore and I've got nothing else. But right now, once you open the world of HF, that digital stuff to me is not very appealing.
No. And I think the biggest thing about that was not to sell it. It was just to show people what else was out there, He also talked about D-Star. D-Star I just inherited a D-Star radio, by the way. And there's Fusion, right? And everything has its stuff. But, if you got to watch it, not for somebody trying to talk you into it, but when you can see right in front of your eyes, now, I'm going to just say some stuff. It's inaccurate, but let me just try to repeat what I heard. On a regular radio, air to air, I can get 10 feet between 2 radios. And there's noise along with that. On a digital radio, I can get 100 feet, and there's no noise. So what's more appealing to me as a person is not anything about technology. I have very sensitive ears, and I just cannot handle... I just can't handle it, right? When I was doing the field day, I could not concentrate because there was just too much noise. I could not deal with that. This is not the same, right? So we have a conversation just like on the cell phone, and then it's no noise. So, that's the thing that got me into it, not about the digital part. But everything is for the individual. So when I know that I can get further, less power, better sound, less expensive than whatever else, right? And I'm like, oh, that's adding up. So as a new person, the money part was appealing to me. Like, to get into the hobby, it's the money part. For one radio, like some of the radios you described to me, everything's, if it's decent, is over $1,200, right? I have mobile and handy talkie and mobile antenna and base station antenna, and coax, and I still hadn't hit $1,000. You know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What I meant was it's not the digital part. I don't think I mind that if it's clearer. It's when we start using the internet to interconnect. Right now, I have no interest with that. I just want to do pure antenna connection. You know, use the ionosphere or not, whatever. I don't care. Line of sight, whatever, as long as it works. But yeah, the internet right now to facilitate this or use it kind of turns me off. That's my opinion.
I hear that. That was even brought up last night. Yeah, I'm trying to move into the HF stuff, and I gotta get it on because, for example, VE3ARF was telling me about 6 meters, and I'm like, oh man, you know, and I'm in a pinch right now because my situation. So I'm like, man, I wish I could go get me a radio so I could talk on 6 meters because I only have a short window, right? And that was another thing that was talked about, not about DMR, but it was talked about last night about regular radio because he had to explain, you know, how regular things work, and you know, if you want to talk to my friend Bob, it's got to be in the evening time in the fall only. If I want to talk to my friend Bill, it's got to be in the summertime between 2 and 4 because that's when it happens. And if I want to talk to Jill, it's got to be, you know, in the spring and only at 2, you know, for 2 hours in the morning. And I was like, oh no, I can't deal with that.
Who's saying that?
No, that's not what's being said. Certain bands are only open certain times. I have that in my book that I'm studying, right? So they're like, if you want to talk on this band, this is the best time to do it. If you want to talk on this band, this is the best time to do it. And then, you know, things get dealt with the conditions. I think they call it, it's like conditions, right? You can talk, or there's a lot of stuff you can do when you have the conditions, right? So with a person like me that's a chatty Cathy, I can't be waiting on conditions, right? It's like the YL there. You know, when you ask for certain questions, you have to wait on the conditions, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that, you know?
You can talk to anybody pretty much at any time. You just got to know which band. So some bands are open all the time. So the conditions, yeah, right now pretty much all the bands are open pretty much every day because we are getting into a solar maximum. And it'll probably be like that for the next 5 years before things go really down, I would say. But I started in a solar minimum. So when I started my solar minimum in 2019, you could always use 160, 80 meters, 60 meters, 40 meters, 20 meters, 17 meters, and once in a while, 15. So that's a lot of bands that you can talk to a lot of people there. You're only missing 12, 10, and 6 meters has nothing to do with solar maximum or minimum. It's just a band that if it wants to open up, it will, and then it'll shut down. So most of them are always running. So don't be discouraged by that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. I was just explaining that in our little book there, it's talking about all the different layers, you know, like the D layer, the E layer, the F layer, this and that, and you know, it talks about when skip happens, and you know, there's all these variables, right? So I was just making a joke that there are certain things I ask of the wife, right, and it's always got to be under certain conditions, and I was so. You know, with HF, it's just like being married to the wife. You know, she's either, it's either honeymoon session, what they call it, the honeymoon stage, right? Or the non-honeymoon stage. But yeah, you're right. Everything out there you can do, you just have to have the time and stuff like that. And you know what? If you have good equipment and you put some money in it, there's no limits. You know, I was talking to probably one of the oldest members there last night. His name is Don. And Don he bought this radio. I don't know the model, but he told me the radio cost him something like $6,000 or $7,000 US. And I was like, and then he brought the manual into one of the coffee classes, and this thing is full color. It's huge. It's not 8.5 by 11. It's more like 11, like it's big. It was probably 11 inches long by, I don't know. This thing is huge. So, like, for the first 3 months, he was just reading the manual, eh? And I was like, oh my God. If that's 6,000 or 7,000, US, you put that in the Canadian, and this, and this, But he said to me, hey, don't worry about towers, don't worry about rotors, don't worry about all that stuff. You just need a radio and a long wire antenna, and you're good. You don't have to invest millions of dollars into this stuff. Just a nice HF rig, a long wire antenna that'll do from this frequency to this frequency, and you're in the bag. And I'm like, that's the best advice I've heard.
He's right. Depending if you buy it, you might get a good radio that's used if you know someone. If not, the cheapest new HF radio is probably around $1,000, maybe $900 or something. And that probably the ICOM 718. I paid $800 for it. It might have gone up a bit there. I'll look. And that radio, there's nothing wrong with it. You won't get 6 meters out of it. That's the downside. But it gives you everything else. It works great. It's not a lot of money. It's 100 watts. And just per se, you don't have to spend a fortune. You do need a power supply or a battery or something to power it. Just like you do for your radios right now. I don't think they plug into the wall. If you have a power supply that's giving 30 amps, you can probably use the same one you have. A wire antenna is very, very cheap. And you're probably going to need a tuner if you want to use multiple bands, and away you go.
Yeah, I was looking at some on the way back home, and a lot of these radios now offer automatic tuners in them. So that's a bonus too. So you don't have to have multiple pieces of equipment, eh?
Well, yeah, some do, but they're not as efficient as an external tuner. So unless your band is really resonant, you can get away with it. Like some of these NFET antennas, you can get away with it with the tuner inside, because it only does a 3-to-1 mismatch, 3-to-1. That's not a lot. So a lot of these external tuners will do 10-to-1, or mine here that I have does 32-to-1. So I can have basically a wet noodle connected to my radio and it'll tune it.
Oh, you had me dying there. Oh my God, that's awesome. Folks, it's 8:17 a.m. this morning. I had a couple of check-ins on another frequency prior to this. We had Dean out there about to head to the golf course, and Marshall was just getting his day started there, VA3BS and VA3SX. And we are on the radio right now with VA3GIN. We're looking for some more check-ins this morning. Could that be you? VA3EWV listening. Looks like we're all alone this morning, Bob. But if anybody wants to get out there, make sure you just pop up in there, and we'll say a holler to you. So I'm selling some more. I'm selling my last piece of 11-meter equipment today, if everything goes right, eh?
Sorry, sell what?
I said I'm selling my last piece of 11-meter equipment today, if everything else goes okay. I'll be selling my Galaxy 959B if all goes well, and that'll be my last piece of 11-meter equipment. But what I'm going to do is after I find work and stuff like that, I'm going to get a smaller footprint, just regular CB radio, just for the car, so I'll just have it in the car, right? Because I want to make sure I have an 11-meter rig in the car along with other stuff too. But that radio that I have in there is so big, because it's a modern car, I don't really have a place to put it. And where I have it mounted, I found out that I can't let the seat up. So if a taller person gets in the back seat on the right, you can't let the seat up because the radio is in the way. So like this radio I have in the shack here, this Anytone, it's so small and stuff, the seat could actually go up and go right past it while it's still mounted on the side there, eh?
Okay, QSL. Okay, well, yeah, I hope you sell it there. Yeah, I'm looking at radio roll right now. The cheapest one right now is the Yaesu FT891. FT891, $899 on sale right now. It's not a very big radio. It's small. It's perfect for portable use as well, and it would give you 6 meters and it's full 100 watts. So there you go. I thought the ICOM 718 was cheaper, but it's kind of in value, closer to $1,000. But this one's $899. That's not a bad price for a full 100 watt radio. So there you go. You can get something under $1,000.
Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, and I'll be a quarter of the way there. Yeah, from what? Yeah, because all I'm doing is to keep everything, and I've been successful so far. I had quite a bit of 11 meter equipment, and I've been able to only spend about, I would say about between $80 and $110. That's what I've had to pull out of my own pocket after savings of spending all that, like selling all that other equipment. I know the wife's happy about it as well because, you know, you could, if you're, what I didn't want to do, because I've read so much on the thing, there's some of these radios that can only be serviced by the companies themselves, right? And, you know, if you get a good radio and you know, you're with it for a long time, that's great. But sometimes these things can have problems, and it's so hard to get them repaired, right? So that started, you know, I grew up in the disposable industry, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. When I got my job at Future Shop, people used to have furniture built to hold desktop computers and monitors, right? It was just like, and if you had to go do something to the desktop PC, you almost had to, like, you know, take furniture apart to get to it. And then you came up with the things like Chromebooks, right? So now people used to spend $300 or $400 to get their PC fixed. Nowadays, people don't do that. I know they don't do it because I was in the retail business for 7 years. If you tell them it's going to cost $250, $300 to fix their computer or format, reinstall it, they're like, nope, they'll just get a Chromebook. There was a doctor that used to come into the store, and he would buy a brand new laser printer about every 3 or 4 months and get warranty on it. And I finally realized, I'm like, wait a minute, didn't you buy that same Brother LaserJet printer? Like, what's going on with it? He says, oh, well, I use it until the ink runs out, and then I just buy another one. And I'm like, well, you do know that the ink the toner that comes with it is not a full toner. It's just to get you by until you get something new. But the dude, instead of buying a new, he says, but if I buy a full toner, which is like, at that time was like $140 something, he says the printer's only $89, so why would I buy a whole toner? I was just, and I'm like, what are you doing with them? He said, I'll just give them to my staff. So he would come in and use the printer for 3 months, give it to a staff member, you know? So we're in the disposable age, you know?
Yeah, you got beeped out there. Hi. Yeah, I know. These are not disposable. I don't believe. You got to send them back to the company. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it happens very often. I've bought 3 HF radios up to now from new, and I've never had a problem with any of them. I know other people that have bought new HF, they've never had a problem. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but they usually have to be sent to company, especially when they're in warranty. If they're not under warranty, some of them might be repaired by some people that know what they're doing. But again, it could be that they're getting beyond that, especially for parts that I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually trying to push that, by the way, for the timer, because there are a lot of people I see that do get timed out, and I'm like, wow, they must give me like a special a 2 minute extra or something like that, because I'm like, I'm gonna push this thing today to see how long it is. Anyway, this is VA3EWV. It's 8:24. We're about halfway through the morning thing here. Anybody else want to check in today? This is a Thursday, and it's also called APRS Thursday. So for those of you that have APRS radios out there, there is a Facebook group that you can go in and do a check-in on your APRS, and it's just like doing the net. They usually have about 400 people that do that APRS check-in on APRS on Thursday. So if you don't know what that is, just Google it. It's a positioning technology. And it's really good news for when they're doing like emergency communications and tracking and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, if anybody wants to come check in, please do so now. VA3EWV listening. Come back again with your call sign, please. Okay, VE3JYD, come on in there. I'm sorry, say that one more time. VE3JYD Robert in Cornwall there. Yes, I can hear you a little bit. Are you on the handy talkie there, Robert? Okay, yeah, well, I hear you a lot better now. Whatever you did just now, we can pull you in. This is the first time that I've had you on the log there. How are you today? And thank you for logging in. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm pretty excited to hear about that. Yes, yes. That was a great story. He brought his new truck to, and we were all looking at it at our last club meeting, and then one of the people said, "Oh, that looked like Robert's old truck." And then Hunter says, "Well, I don't know a V3HWF." He says, "I don't know. I bought it from an old guy." And then all of us start laughing because I'm the youngest at 55, besides Hunter, right? So we all start laughing, and the one guy said, "Well, you just described all of us." And he says, "Well, I don't know." And then VA3DS contacted, I heard him talking about it, and he said, "Oh, do you have Hunter's number? Because he has a veil thing, and he can get it programmed." I also have a veil thing and the program cable, so if you ever need help and Hunter's not available, I can help you as well. But it's such a pleasure to have you on there, and welcome back to the hobby, VE3JYD. Well, you're in luck. I'm spearheading this month, and it starts tomorrow. What I'm going to call it is a fall tour for amateur radio. I was inspired by a field day that we had this past year, and at a field day they have what they call get on the air stations, so GOTA stations, and it's for people who are, who may have an interest in a hobby, but they don't know anything about it, to go out and you can watch the person use the radio. Now, I'm not qualified to do that for certain bands, but I am qualified to show people on DMR. So it's a fall tour, and there are several of the ham operators that have volunteered to open up their homes virtually and in person and have people come over and view their shacks. I am one of those people. So for the rest of October and the first week of November, I'm going to be opening up my shack for people to come over and look at it, get some hands on, ask questions and stuff like that. And I'm able to do 2 meter, 70 centimeter DMR, as well as APRS and a couple more. And I just got a D-Star radio. So you are welcome to come to my place. We'll just swap contact information. I have your email address here on QRZ, and I'll get you set up.
Okay, that'll be fine. My time is kind of sparse, but
Hey Google, turn on fan. No problem. I'll be sending you a calendar this afternoon. I have a calendar made up with all the dates available and who has opened their place, and so that makes it easy for people like yourself with busy schedules. You can just go to the calendar and look and see who's available, and then set up to go to their QTH. Thank you for checking in. Stand by there. We are doing more check-ins for the Cornwall Coffee Conversation and Commute. Could you be number 5 this morning? We've had 4 check-ins already: VE3SX, VA3BS, VA3GIN, and VA3JYD. No, VE3JYD. Oh, before I move on, is that maybe for the Junkyard Dog? Everybody has a story behind their thing. I grew up in the 80s, and I used to watch Mid-South Wrestling, and we had JYD, Junkyard Dog. What was your inspiration for your call sign there, Robert? Go ahead. I love it. I love it. You got me smiling ear to ear. And we hope to have you back every morning, Monday through Friday, until I get work, because I'm between jobs right now. But Monday through Friday from 8 to 9, we get on this frequency and we jaw jack and stuff like that. It's just something that Hunter's dad and I started, VE3PRY. We both got our licenses, and we don't have HF privileges. And all we were doing was listening to HF and not able to talk. So then I found out that we have repeaters, and Cornwall is blessed to have 8 repeaters in the area. And with my little setup, about 40 feet up, I can hit Iroquois repeater. I can hit a lot of repeaters from where I'm sitting here in St. Andrews. So I said to him, I'm not going to just sit here and listen. I'm going to talk, and talk I do, let me tell you. I usually lock up the repeater, at least, well, once in the last month, but that's how it goes. Anyway, stick there and stay tight. We're looking for some more check-ins this morning. Could you be number 5? This is VA3EWV listening. Come on in there, Mike. VA3AQE. How you doing this morning? Oh, just my usual jaw jacking. I've already told you guys, all of you, that I can talk to myself for a whole hour. You know, but it's nice to hear other people. So you're heading into your QTH, everything is going all right, and you enjoying the weather and all that?
Oh yeah, everything's going good there. And now it's time to start getting the boat out of the water, winterizing that, putting it away for the winter. But yeah, working on that this week and next week.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's get it done now. You know, I know what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to wait until there's snow on the ground and, you know, ripping and running and trying to get stuff done and half killing ourselves. But I'm not shutting anything down early. Well, yes, I am. I've already said no. The RV's not going out the yard. So I went on Amazon because a buddy of mine told me about this kit that I could buy. I have an air compressor. And he says, oh, instead of putting all that fluid in all the time and trying to drain it out and going through all this stuff and whatever, how about you just get the thing that you put on the water, like the city water part that's on the RV, and use your big compressor and just blow everything out. Does anybody have any, is anybody that's listening have any experience with winterizing, like getting the water out with the air, or do you guys still use the fluid over?
Some water that may get locked in a little valve or a seal, and that seal will freeze in the winter and crack. The rubber will crack. By using some of that plumbing antifreeze, you don't have to use a lot of it, but even if you just put in even just a cup of antifreeze and have it blown out through your system after, at least it takes the water away from your seals. So that's the way I've been doing it forever.
Oh, okay, so run that by me again. Are you saying you use the antifreeze and the air, or you just use the antifreeze over?
You can use the antifreeze and the air. You don't have to use a lot of antifreeze. Just a little bit of antifreeze in. Like once you blow it out with your air, do that, get all the water out with your air, but then put just a little bit of antifreeze in your line anyway, and blow the antifreeze out after. That way there, it takes the water away from any of your rubber seals and gaskets and stuff like that. It won't freeze up over the winter.
Yeah, my RV is 3 years old, and when I had it living in Canada, of course, with the bylaw there, I couldn't just leave it up in the front yard. And plus, the neighbors I didn't want my neighbors complaining because our driveways were like right on top of each other. You know, these houses, there are 4 in a row, right? I call them stuck together houses. But my neighbor and I, we had the shared driveway, and with my RV there, they could barely get in the driveway. So I would store it. But I would bring it to Primo trailers every fall there and have them winterize the thing, and it would cost me about $380. And then one of my friends said to me, her name is Sue, her and her partner, there's 2 of them, and they use RV all the time. She goes, you're throwing money away. Do it yourself. So I did it myself one year. And I forgot to, because I opened up the sink, opened up the sink in the bathroom, the sink in the kitchen, and I did the shower, and I forgot to press that foot thing down to let the antifreeze go through the toilet. But it reminded me when the RV season started again, because I had my wife, Sue, turn the water on when I was inside the trailer, and I saw the water shooting up hitting the ceiling, because I forgot to do the doggone toilet there, eh?
You know what? It's not hard to do yourself. If you were paying $300, you're paying $250 too much. It shouldn't cost you any more than the price of the antifreeze and the time to do it. I've never had anyone do the boat. I mean, I get the boat. I do the motor in all my lines. It takes me at the most an hour, and that's it. And that's the engine and everything that I take care of. So.
Hey, Peter John Whalen. Hey, Peter John. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be scared to do the RV thing. It's just, I'll be scared to do the boat and stuff like that. But no, that's what they charge me. So if you call Primo RV right now and you say, hey, I want to put my thing in and get it winterized, they're going to tell you they're going to do all the gaskets, because that's what they told me. They do something with the roof. They put all the stuff around the gaskets or whatever, or these seals, or all the plastic and rubber stuff. They do the whole thing every year, and then I was bringing it to Kempville because the guy had a indoor storage, right? And I never had to worry about mice and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. And the thing still looks brand new to this day. And last year I bought a cover from Amazon. I paid like $43 for this cover, and it was nice. It was actually better than I expected. I thought this thing was going to be see-through, but I was surprised at the quality. So I got the cover on there. But this year I'll make sure that I do all that. Like, I won't forget any of that, and then I should be, good to go, right? Because this year I'm only paying $18 for this air thing to go in there over.
You know what? There's also a guy in St. Andrews that used to do that. There's a guy Cornwall all the time. He just lived on O'Keefe Road. For stuff sometimes, I'm sure he'd give you a hand or show you how to do it the right way, You'd have to talk to him, of course, but I'm sure he'd do it.
All right. Well, thank you for that, VA3AQE. We have 5 check-ins this morning, and we're having some good conversations today. Like, we're 40 minutes of good old conversation. If anybody else wants to check in, come now before the hour's over. Please come now.
VE3JYD.
Come on in there, VE3JYD. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, when we connect, I'll reach out to you and we'll get that. Some things I don't mind doing. I have to tell you all that's listening, as an IT manager for 23 years living in Canada there, I never had grease on my hands or anything like that, because that's just what we didn't own an RV until COVID happened. I didn't have a tractor until we moved here. So since I've been here in St. Andrews, I've gotten nicks and bruises and cuts, and I'm like, look, I cut my finger off. I'm so excited. And the wife's like, what the hell? But some things I'm finding out that I would still like to pay for, because I don't like, since my car is new and under warranty, I bring it to the Seaway place because it's under warranty. And when you have a warranty through those people, if you don't follow the stuff to the letter, they'll say it voids your warranty. I don't ever want to do my own brakes. I never want to do that. I never want to do anything with gas, like natural gas or propane, like in a house. I don't want to have anything to do with electricity or water in a house either. Because, you can kill yourself, or you can blow up your house, or you can burn the doggone thing down. So some things I still like to call professionals for, but I'm starting to do a lot of stuff myself, and I've been very proud of myself this past year. I installed our new fridge and put the water on it, and then I kept the refrigerator pulled from the wall and the door open under the sink for 3 days with water sensors there with a camera on it, because if the water sensor makes a sound, it'll activate the camera, and the camera says there's a sound. And the wife's like, really? I gotta go through my kitchen like this? I'm like, well, I've never done this before, and I don't want my house flooded. We got through that, then she messes up and she buys a dishwasher. Again, there's a thing on the sink open for 3 days, the dishwasher pulled out, because I want to make sure it's not leaking. But I'm very happy to say that I was able to get the dishwasher and the fridge set up with water myself. Let me roll this right quick. I got the fridge and stuff set up, and I also, with the help of VA3EWV Hunter, I got my double oven put in as well, and that was a feat too. Anyway, yeah, I'll get back with you with that VA3JYD. All right, anybody else out there wants to come in and say good morning, please come now. VA3EWV listening. Okay, well, let's do that round robin then. VA3GA, are you still in there? Over.
Yep, I sent you a contact to this fellow that I use for my RV, and he's really cheap, you know. He'll winterize my RV and use his own stuff to put in and everything. It's usually about $100, and he comes to me.
Oh, that's great. So it's like a mobile service. That's even better. And yeah, and I have to get my my canopy looked at because it's an electric canopy that pulls out. And I find out that I have to have the wife inside of it, and she presses the button that says out, and I have to twist it, and then it goes out, no problem. And then when we want to bring it in, I have to, you know, pull it down a little bit, twist it as the end, and then it goes in. And I'm like, that can't be right. I have to get that looked at. I wish I had a manual on it, like my brother-in-law. You don't have to worry about all that stuff, but this is electric, and it's good for the wife, but it's starting to not go in and out. I must have to just use it more or do something. I don't know what's going on with it.
Well, this is the guy to ask. He can fix anything. He replaced my awning when I got destroyed by a winter storm last year. You know, he can get parts, whatever. He's been in the RV business a long, long time. So, yeah, he's your guy to all your questions.
All right, awesome. I'll definitely look into that. VA3AQE, are you still out there? Over. Nothing heard. I think Mike made it to his QTH there. And anybody else out there wanting to say good morning, please come now. All right, VA3JYD. What's on your plans for the weekend? We're on Thursday now. The weekend's coming up upon us. Have any big plans for the weekend there? Over. Since you got your radio up and running, come on.
Sorry, I got distracted. Did you call me?
Yes, I said now that you got your radio on the air, and we're coming into the weekend, you have any plans for the weekend or anything like that? And also, are you going to be getting a external antenna put up, or are you just going to have the handy talkie just with the antenna that's on it?
Well, I have an external antenna put up. I just need a little bit of help to get it up. I've got all done, a whole bunch of poles and stuff and coax. I've got all the material I need, but I need some manpower.
Well, hey, that's not a problem. If you still have Hunter's number, get a hold of him because I'm free right now. See when he's able when he's available, and him and I can come over there and give you a hand. Over.
Well, we'll see what the weather's like for on Saturday, and in the meantime, I'll get a hold of Hunter. Are you going to be at home today?
I heard you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Your radio sounds really good. I'm just having a problem getting everything. So I heard you say that maybe Saturday if the rain holds up, and you said you're going to get a hold of Hunter. But then I think I missed something. What else did you say? Over.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd be at home this afternoon.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely home this afternoon. Yes. I'm available after 5 o'clock this afternoon. I have an interview between 3 and 4. So if you want to stop by anytime after 5 o'clock, that'll be awesome.
Okay, then all I gotta do is sign you.
Well, I have your. Well, if you you used to use QRZ. I see that there's 1,100 lookups for your thing. But if that email address is correct, I can just send you my my address on that email, eh?
Well, yeah, no problem. If the email says R Harmony,
No, it's a Kojiko one. But I'll write that down. What did you say the email was again?
Yeah, Coach Coach John. HARMACY@gmail.com.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, I'll send you an email on that one, okay?
On one of those dual flying radios?
No problem. You have a good rest of the day. VE3GIN was asking you what type of radio we were talking on before you go. Yeah, he's on the Veil thing, the handy talkie there. Probably UV5R. Over.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
All right, well, have a good rest of your day there, JYD, and we'll be looking forward to hearing you on the radio and seeing you this afternoon. Oh yeah, I'm on here all the time. Yeah, that'll be good. I'm always monitoring it on my handy talkie. Over. VE3J, and I was looking at that. I'm still looking at that FT891. I was speaking with VE3 Echo Victor a couple weeks back, and we were just talking about whatever. But you know, they were saying gone are the days that you could go to Radio Shack and places like that, and or the internet and pick up your resistors, transistors, capacitors, all that different stuff like that, and have something. You know, if something didn't work in your radio, you just opened it up, checked it out, tested a couple of little things, and then you're like, oh, it's this part, and then you just go pick it up and come back in, you know, solder it on, and you're back up and running. With all the new stuff, it's there. I'm being told it's not that easy unless you have like some serious equipment to look after that type of stuff, you know. So the only reason I'm talking about this, I was told by several hams, you might want to buy new as opposed to getting something old, because if it has problems, not that that's the problem, because we always want to buy old and new stuff, you know, that's what it's all about. But they're like, be careful, because some things you buy, make sure that you look at it first on the web and say, oh, here's the FT123. Oh, there are lots of parts available. So then you can go ahead and buy the FT123, because you can see that there's lots of parts available. But if you go buy the FT123 and you look on the web and everything discontinued and this, that, and other, you know, and if something goes wrong with the radio, then it's going to be hard to get it repaired. And there's a lot of radios out there right now that I see on Facebook Marketplace and all this stuff like that. Some good prices. But they're like, hey, it is as it is because of the age, yada, 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 yada. You know, and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm like you. The radios I have purchased, knock wood, all the radios I bought, I still had them until I didn't have them anymore. And they have gone to other homes and still being used. So I've had nothing but good luck with the radios that I've had over the years. And I've never had anything break down except for one, because I connected it to, I didn't have a, fuse on it. And that's when I was first getting into it. And my friend Iron Cat, who worked at Radio Shack, said, oh, I'll plug it in for you. But I couldn't wait. I was too excited. Plugged the thing in wrong, no fuse, and then burned something inside of it. But anyway, I wound up going to Radio Shack anyway, and they fixed it, right? But that's the only thing. That was my fault, because I did not connect it right.
I would recommend new. But like I said, unless you know the person that has a radio, and if it's still in production, that's a good sign. Or first one was the ICOM 7300. For a lot of reasons, you got the waterfall, you got the touch screen, you got the software-defined radio and all that. It's a bit more money, right? It's almost double the price. But I would recommend you, whatever you get, and I would recommend not going below 100 watts. Like, you can get probably some Chinese radios that are less than 100 watts, but I wouldn't recommend that. You're going to struggle trying to get through for contacts.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, though, right? It's all it's all about the struggle, right? That's the thing I love about this hobby. When I got into 11 meter there, it was always that's why it was so exciting to, you know, when you were saying yesterday, you know, you had your 158 for the longest, and you finally got 159. When I was giving a guy a demonstration yesterday, I said, hey, I have a friend. He's been trying to break that 158, and he did it, and I was so excited for him. I'm like, that probably took, you know, quite a while. I'm like, for me to get 158 countries, I could do that probably like three months. He's like, really? I'm like, not because I'm on there all the time. I just have to list the countries. I go to this page here. I see the country. I go talk to the country. I get the QSO, right? I said, so it's more simpler nowadays. But the thing is, since people still think that's fake radio, right? You probably won't get the awards and stuff like that. You know, but you know, that's probably what's said when people went from CW to voice, right? So, you know, imagine those people that spent all those years on CW, then the voice came, and they're like, what's that, yeah?
QSO. And for the record, it's 159 countries.
No, that's what I have written down. Yeah, I had to change it. But that, hey, look, all that stuff's exciting. And, excuse me, I can't wait to get out there. I'm looking forward to field day again. I'm looking forward to lots more parks on the air, some winter parks on the air. I know that there's winter field day even. And I was talking to this lady. She said she's been a ham for 35 years. And she posted pictures up on my new Facebook page there. On the air with VA3EWV, folks that have Facebook. And she was posting pictures of her little setup with Parks on the Air. Did you happen to see that?
No, I didn't.
We got about 3 minutes left, folks. If anybody else wants to get in on this and get your name on the roster, you don't have to talk, but you can get your call sign up in there for the roster there. Yeah, it was. Let me see what her handle, what her call sign is. But she put on there, first pitch is Pinehurst Provincial Park, doing a POTA, 40-10 in-fed half wave in the tree. Second equipment laid out. The fourth is how the fourth picture is how I have it all packed up. So she has a pole that she brings with her, and it's tied to like a bench there. And she has her little setup. It looks pretty snazzy.
VA3 ARF.
Go ahead, VA3 ARF. Good morning, Rob.
Check in, let you can, finish your thought there, and then after that I'll see if I can have VA3 ARF with you.
No, my thoughts are finished. Go ahead.
Okay. You're going to be home after this conversation and commute chat?
Yeah, I'm home all day. I just have I'm excited I have an interview today, but it's over the phone. It's only 30 minutes, but I'm home all day, over.
Okay, I'm going to drop by and see you there. I'm off today, so I'm not in the big vehicle today, so I'll just drop by and see you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you're welcome to come on through. Yeah, do that. Okay, folks, we got 1 minute left. Could you be number 8? If you want to be on the list, you better come in now. VA3EWV listening.
VA3KCB.
Oh, there you go. VA3KCB at the wire. Come on in there, Rick.
I just thought I'd throw a bean in there to pot. I had some appointments, so just giving you your check-in, and it has just officially turned 9 o'clock. Over.
I hear you, but I do have a question for you, because you know we can't just let you go like that. We were talking about winterizing things, you know. VA3AQE is about to take his boat out the water for the winter there. He has certain things to do. I'm going to be putting up my RV. You have I forget what you call your bike. You said it one time, I just forget. What do you have to do to winterize the equipment like that? Because it's just going to sit, eh? So what do you have to do to get it ready for the winter?
I have a Can-Am Spider. Really not too much. I have it in my garage so it doesn't freeze. I do an oil change, whether I feel like it now or in spring, but it's best to do it in the fall. And I put a battery tender on it to go over the Prestone and stuff like that. But it's really zero maintenance vehicle.
Oh, that's awesome. I just happened to look out my window when you were talking, and I must have 200-300 black birds that just flew into my yard there. Yeah, but no maintenance, that sounds pretty good. So yeah, I guess if you keep it in the garage and stuff like that, you're all ready to go. Which reminds me, I need to go start my, I have of course I have my Generac on the house. It comes on by itself all the time. But I have a pretty big Generac in the garage there, and I haven't taken it out in weeks, probably a little over 2 months. So I need to go crank that sucker up and get it going. And I know I have to do an oil change on it. So that's I'm only saying that stuff to put more stuff on your list of stuff to do. Okay, Rick. All right, VA3KCB. Anything else? What are you gonna be doing on the weekend, over?
Well, not too sure. Going to start the assembly to put up an end-fed line that I've got on order, but I got to do some pole work and stuff like that.
All right. Well, hey, look, we're doing that the fall tour thing, as a lot of you guys know. That's what I'm going to be calling it. I have sent a counter out. There's several people that do have ability to open up their shacks. So it's going to be a fun event. There are some people out that can't get out and go look for the shack. So some of us going to be doing it virtually. So yeah, you don't have to be a host. You can be a person that looks. Well, we're going to be running that for about 4 weeks there. I'm going to see if I can get Seaway to send out the calendar. They said it was a good idea. But I think this will be a fun fall tour and get to look at different people's shacks and stuff like that. And I'll be posting some pictures with their approval. I'll be posting some pictures of the different things and antennas on the webpage. Okay, folks, if there's nothing else, we're going to end this net. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow. This is VA3EWV. Come on up in there, VA3HWF. How you doing this morning?
Too bad. I figured I'd have a minute from work, and I'm kind of late, but figured I'd just...
Well, I'm glad you're there. Could you perhaps... JYD was on this morning. We were excited to hear him. That was his first login this morning. If you could, he told me to email him. I think I got the email wrong because I got a kickback. But if you can text me his number, that'll be awesome. If you could do that for me, VA3HWF.
No, I was listening to the net earlier, and you were saying something about me and you going to put up an antenna for him. Over.
Yeah, I told him, he said, I asked him, was he going to be getting an external antenna put up? And he says he has all the stuff, but he doesn't have any way to get it up. So I asked him to get a hold of you to see what your schedule was, as you know, I'm not working, so I'm not doing anything. And I said that if you had some free time, I would just meet up with you and we could help him get an antenna up. Over.
Yeah, no, I guess we could do that. The only thing is I probably won't be available anytime Saturday morning because at work is starting to be our busy season, and I'm probably going to be busy till noon on Saturday.
Okay, well, I guess the best part to do is just coordinate with him, because I think it's gonna. They say it's gonna be a lot of rain, but you know, if it's anything like I've experienced since I've been here in Canada, it rains like for 2 minutes, and then then you have a good rest of your day. But no, I'm just saying that I have two hands. I'm available, but I'll be happier if there's another person there. And you've been over to my house twice, helped me with my antenna, so everything's still standing. So I'm pretty confident that you know what's going on there. Over.
Roger that. I can get in contact with him and see what time works best, and then I'll get back to you. Over.
Okay, well, thank you for popping in there, and you made our number 8. No, our number 9. One last call. Anybody else that want to get on the roster, then we'll be closing it down. Okay, nothing heard. And Hunter, you know what? Oh yeah, if you can send me his number, that'll be awesome, and then you can just coordinate with him. As I said, I'm free, so I can, whenever works for you guys, I can just come and help you. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to be saying 773 to you all. Have a good day. Thanks for coming to the Cornwall Coffee Conversation Commute. We'll see you guys tomorrow. VA3EWV clear. All right, that was a good net. And I have lots of birds outside, folks. Let's go over here and look. There's a lot of birds. The whole backyard is just full of black birds out there. I've never seen that happen before. All right, that's it, folks. VA3EWV on the air. We're going to be clear. Y'all have a good day. See you tomorrow.